You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
This is not what we are about. This is not our America.
This morning, confusion about the zero-tolerance policy that called for the prosecution of anyone caught entering the U.S. illegally. This while some detainees have been reunited with their families.
And despite the changing immigration policy, local protesters plan to go ahead with a rally here on the Suncoast.
And it may be summer, but some kids are still working hard, where Booker High School students are competing today. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. We have made it to Friday.
Oh.
Good morning.
Just thinking the same thing in my head.
You seem pleased.
All right, we made it to Friday. This is a good day. We've got the big Friday Fest tonight. Van Wezel will tell you about later.
Hope to meet you there tonight. Details
Yes.
of that on the way. But first, on to the star of the show, Professor John Scalzi.
Guys sound like you were on life support.
Some days we are.
Some days you are. I know, I get it. Yeah, we're looking at some pretty nice weather, I think. Yesterday we didn't see a lot of rainfall around. I think kind of a similar situation again today. You're not going to get those really heavy downpours so long as we maintain this westerly wind flow. And it looks like we've got that right straight through most of the weekend anyway. So expect to see that west wind flow pattern kick in later on this morning. That's coastal showers in the morning near the coast, and then I suppose the coastal showers inland, right? Coastal showers near the coast in the morning, followed by inland showers a little bit later in the afternoon. I'm giddy today. I don't know what it is. We have some quiet conditions across the area right now, and I think your morning commute should be pretty much rain-free. Red tide, still an issue across the region, and we'll discuss that in detail coming up in a minute. But there are some places on the Suncoast reporting intense amounts of red tide in the atmosphere. Talk all about it coming up in a few.
All right, my giddy friend, let's check the traffic right now. First, here is where our live camera is. This is a live picture at State Road 64 and 3rd Avenue West. Be aware of this road closure. We'll update you throughout the morning on that. But now let's go to the maps. First off, in Manatee County, only one little blip of red there in State Road 70 eastbound as you head toward Lockwood Ridge. Otherwise, all clear. Farther south now, the northern, just skipped over something else there at University. We'll try to check on that next time. All clear in the northern half of Sarasota County. And then farther south, we'll check the final maps to the south of us, and we'll find out there is nothing to speak of, all clear at 502.
Well, President Trump's immigration policy is causing some confusion now. Now it's the scramble to try and reunite the 2,300 children that have been separated from their families at the U.S.-Mexico borders. Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
Today, about 500 of the more than 2,300 children separated from their families at the U.S.-Mexico border are together again. But federal agencies are now scrambling to set up a plan for the remaining children. Mothers like Ibis Guzman, who is detained in Seattle, still has no answers about her 5-year-old son nearly 1,800 miles away in a San Antonio shelter. And it's still unclear whether migrant parents will even be prosecuted. A federal public defender's office in Texas says the U.S. Attorney's Office would be dismissing cases in which parents were charged with illegally entering or re-entering the United States. Not helping the matter, conflicting statements from top Trump administration officials. Last month, this was Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who said the Bible justified family separations.
If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
But then on the Christian Broadcasting Network,
and the American people don't like the idea that we're separating families. We never really intended to do that.
On Capitol Hill, protests, children wrapped in Mylar blankets like the children in the detention centers that are set up across 17 states. Senators and other advocates joining in, saying the president needs to do more to reunite the families that have been separated.
There was a vote scheduled on Thursday for the compromise immigration bill crafted by moderate and conservative Republicans. The bill addresses immigration issues like border wall funding and Dreamers. But that vote has now been delayed till next week. Republicans are still divided. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Washington.
Well, many here on the Suncoast are still looking to speak out against the families of illegal immigrants being separated at the borders. Even though the policy changed this week, a protest is still planned for later on tonight.
Marla Spence has a preview of today's rally. Marla?
Good morning, guys. So far across this country, there's been several protests and rallies in response to the immigration issue and families being separated who are seeking asylum at the border. Take a look. This is video of several protests that's happened this week in many states across the country, including Reno, California, Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. One group here on the Suncoast will be joining those groups of protesters with their very own rally in Bradenton. Answer Suncoast Coalition is the group responsible for organizing the rally. One organizer tells us protesters today plan to rally against what they say is a cruel attack on refugee families seeking asylum at the border. Although President Trump signed an executive order to end families being separated, today's protesters are demanding that children and families be welcomed compassionately and kept together as they apply for asylum. Those protesters will gather at the intersection of Cortez Road West and 14th Street West near Books-A-Million in Bradenton. Protesters plan to be out in numbers starting at 6:30 tonight, and the rally is expected to wrap up at 8. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Well, sometimes it is all about the timing. Yesterday, First Lady Melania Trump made a surprise visit to children at an immigration detention center in South Texas. But her goodwill may have been overshadowed by what she wore to that visit. Now, when she boarded the plane, she was spotted wearing this jacket that reads on the back, "I really don't care, do you?" Now, it was off by the time she landed in Texas for a tour of the facility. Now, her team insists that the jacket didn't have any hidden message. Her husband even had to weigh in later on the controversy. President Trump tweeted that Melania's message on the jacket was actually aimed at the, quote, fake news media, not the current immigration situation at the border. Well, President Trump also followed up on Twitter again, saying that she has now realized that fake news is dishonest, and that's what she really doesn't care about.
Back here on the Suncoast, a pilot for a Saudi royal family has been arrested, accused of stealing thousands of dollars from a Northport man. This is the person who allegedly stole $9,000 from Stefan Rome 2 years ago. 49-year-old Marcin Urbanski of Poland was arrested Tuesday in Maine after the plane in which he piloted landed. Back in November of 2015, Urbanski had offered Rome a job as a pilot for an airlines overseas, but he was told that he would have to wire money to a bank in Poland for administration fees. Well, it turns out Urbanski had only worked for the airline 5 weeks and had no authority to offer a job to anybody.
We were informed that there was some movement in this case earlier this week, and happy to see that some of our work that we put in will hopefully find some justice for someone.
It's such a shame, and a neighbor of ours that was taken like that. I hate to see somebody taken for anything.
Urbanski has been charged with grand theft. Northport police are trying to bring him back to Sarasota County to face charges.
Well, hopefully by now you've been able to navigate the diverging diamond at University Parkway, because FDOT has another one on the way. Now, we now know more about the one that FDOT is planning for Fruitville and 75. This project would widen about 2 miles of I-75 to a 6-lane highway from Palmer Boulevard to just north of Fruitville. That diverging diamond would add 2 lanes to the existing 3 right there on Fruitville from Honore to east of Coburn in that case. So it's kind of interesting how all of this is going to be coming together, but FDOT does have some plans on this. So that's going to actually work out pretty well. They do have a couple more diamonds in the well, too. They've got another 2 that they are planning. However, not everyone is happy about this plan. A group called the Sarasota Initiative says this is going to ruin their plans to transform the surrounding land, which they've been working on for almost 10 years now.
Capacity through the interchange. It also significantly increases safety and efficiency through the interchange, as has been witnessed on the University Parkway diverging diamond, which was the first one in the state.
And that just defeats the whole purpose of dispersing traffic and walkability. You've created this transportation wall, basically, and you can't really disperse traffic and have a street grid when you have to put it all onto one street and go through one signal.
Now, FDOT says they are actually still working through some of the details, and they don't even have the funding yet for this project.
The Manatee Village Historical Park in Bradenton is now closed for the next week. The open-air museum on Manatee Avenue East, also the Stevens House and its artifacts, are being cleaned out so that volunteers can tidy up the site and also repaint as well. Even during the summer months, some Suncoast High School students are competing in science and technology. Happening today, the Booker High School engineering team is traveling to Atlanta for the TSA National Conference to compete in events such as animatronics, structural design, and transportation modeling. Students choose a competition they're interested in, research it, then build a model of a complex design. Team advisors say these students are building critical thinking and time management skills.
They can take it into college. Some of the certifications we offer allows them to exempt some college classes because they've already got the skill set necessary, that they can then come back here, come back home, and they're ready to go to work someplace and be overly productive.
Students are also collaborating with local companies and organizations such as Moat Marine, Tervis Tumbler, and the architects of the new Quay project on Sarasota Bay. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, travelers at a Florida airport will soon see some major changes in security checkpoints. The new program that's designed to speed up the security process.
And later in the hour, after being damaged months ago during Hurricane Irma, one local restaurant is finally back open. We're going to tell you where it is. But first,
here's a peek outside at New York City. That's the scene right now at 5:11. What do you see in that picture, John Scalzi?
I see some low clouds.
Low clouds.
And yeah, pretty sticky conditions. Although we are looking at really steam bath-like conditions around here. I haven't checked any of the inclement weather boxes, only because I think any rain that we get during the morning will be very light, and by afternoon, most of the rain showers will be well inland. So the drive time forecast calls for warm and muggy conditions, temperatures near 80 on the way out. There may be a few scattered showers that develop near the coastline by the time drive time comes around, but probably afterwards. And then on the way home, near 90 with well inland storms. There are no airport delays at any of the airport hubs serving SRQ, according to the FAA. We'll be right back with your forecast.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
You have to stand for something. And you have to stand for safety and security of our country. We can't let people pour in.
Now, wait, you can't do it through an executive order.
Despite saying that days earlier, President Trump signs an executive order about kids in cages, but will the order actually change anything? I'm Alan Cohn. We'll discuss at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, I gotta tell you, it is steamy out there. 83 degrees, our temperature at this moment, the air temperature. Dew point value of 76. That's way up there. You combine those two ingredients together, and already at this hour of the morning, we've got a heat index of 91 degrees. Can you believe that? That's amazing. 7 a.m. temperature will probably climb up to about 78 degrees, or at least fall to about 78 degrees. And then as we get into the noontime hour, temperatures will rebound, of course, with the mix of sun and clouds, and get us up to about 89 degrees, almost the 90-degree mark, actual air temperature. About a 30% chance of showers building first along the coastline, then drifting inland. We've been talking about this flow pattern now for a couple of days. 90 degrees will be our probably daytime high or thereabouts. Yesterday we hit 91. We'll probably be somewhere in that vicinity again today with about a 30% chance of inland showers by 3 p.m. I think the coastline will be pretty quiet by that time. And then as we head into the 7 p.m. period, I think everything kind of winds down, dies down. Everything moves toward the other coast. Titan radar right now not showing much across, well, really the entire peninsula, but certainly not our area. Few scattered showers way out in the Gulf, but near home, there's just not a lot of action. So that's why I didn't check the boxes for any drive time problems with weather. However, we do have problems with red tide, and a advisory has been issued by NOAA advising residents that, especially in southern parts of the county of Sarasota County, there could be some issues with respiratory problems because of the red tide that's in the atmosphere. Caused, of course, by the red tide toxins in the water, the algae bloom. Manasota Beach, as of yesterday, is being reported with an intense amount of irritant in the air, as is Venice, Nokomis, and Siesta Key, all coming in with moderate amounts, Gasparilla moderate amounts as well. You're advised that if you go to one of those beaches and you have a problem, just realize that it's a localized issue, and maybe if you go a mile or two up the road, you won't have that problem. So that is the case. The most of the clear beaches are located from Lido northward into Manatee County at this time. West wind will continue to draw those toxins closer to the shore. Satellite view shows a mix of sun and clouds for you this morning. As we head into the afternoon, I think we'll see a few more fair weather clouds build. Futurecast shows a few scattered showers building along the coastline, perhaps as we head into the noontime hour. Those showers getting closer to the coast, then moving well inland as we head into the evening. I think we'll see most of that activity, and the heaviest rain by far over on the other coast. That'll be the situation really right straight through the next couple of days, it looks like, as that westerly wind flow is just not going anywhere. That high pressure ridge sits to our south, and as long as it sits to our south, we get that westerly wind flow, encouraging the general trend of showers from west to east. Now, on Sunday, we might watch that high pressure ridge lift north again, and then as it does that, we might develop a more southeasterly wind flow, which would be typical for this time of year, and that could lead to a little bit better showery activity along our coast as our sea breeze gets pinned close to the coastline. Morning coastal showers, inland afternoon showers, and a warm, muggy weekend with that west wind blowing. Boaters, you can be pretty assured that the winds will be blowing out of the west this afternoon at about 10 knots. So should be a nice day for boating. A few scattered showers out there, but nothing really serious. 30% chance of showers today, high near 90. Same thing tomorrow, ditto on Sunday, except we'll up the rain chance a little bit on Sunday because I think in the second half of the day we'll start to develop that southeasterly wind, which could bring us a little bit more coastal rainfall. Then as we head into next work week, I think we're returning to a more typical kind of summertime pattern with showers building inland and then drifting back to the coast. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check out some of your Friday morning traffic. Already quite a few delays right there on 301 heading northbound into Bradenton. Lots of slowdowns as you pass right by State Road 70 in Manatee County. Then in Sarasota County, we can take a look at those roads as well. Not too terrible. Do have one little spot to tell you about right there on 75. Right near Lakewood Ranch. If we can bring that up, I'll tell you what that is. Of course, a big one, University Parkway, there is an accident right there at 75. That, of course, is a busy one during your morning commute, so that could be slowing you down a little bit. Again, University Parkway, there's an accident right there at 75. And then if we're heading a little bit farther south into Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty decent. 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth if you're headed toward Port Charlotte this morning. Well, Florida's busiest airport will become the first in the country to use new face scanners at security checkpoints. The plan will be to only use the scanners on arriving and departing international flights, at least at first. They unveiled the program yesterday. Now, a few other airports use face scanners too, but just on some departing international flights. Now, the image from that face scan will be compared to a Homeland Security database of people who should be on that particular flight. All right, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, a new Supreme Court decision could change your online shopping experience. We're going to tell you how your wallet will soon be taking a little bit of a hit.
And next half hour in Hawaii, the number of homes affected by that lava continues to grow. First, here's a shot of downtown Atlanta. There's the Central Business District. There's the Skyview Atlanta Ferris wheel.
And as our producer likes to tell us ahead of time, yes, Ray, your favorite Ferris wheel is there. It's right there, Ray.
It looks like it's superimposed there.
It does.
Why would there be a Ferris wheel right there? It's a 20-story high Ferris wheel called Skyview Atlanta, by the way. I did my homework. 521, you're watching Good Morning Suncoast and ABC 7.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Oh, check this out. We love love these stories around here. Oh, great reunion. An amazing moment as a Navy sailor returned home early from deployment to surprise his little sister at her graduation ceremony in New York.
Just the right spot for that photographer to catch her walking toward the camera.
I know. Love those moments.
Yep.
All right, something else I love to do, shop online. Well, we're not going to like this too much, though. A Supreme Court decision could change how much we all pay to shop at home in our stretchy pants on the couch.
The court issued a key ruling about the sales tax you pay. The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, a victory for Main Street.
The Supreme Court has ruled states can collect sales taxes for online sales. The 5-4 decision ends the tax-free advantage many online sellers have had over local businesses. The decision could cost shoppers as much as $20 billion a year. Amazon may have accidentally leaked the date for its biggest sale day of the year.
The UK site for the retailer revealed that Amazon Prime Day will kick off at noon on July 16th and continue for 36 hours in the next day. Amazon is not confirming or denying that the date is accurate. And Apple is almost ready to release its new wireless charging pad.
The company says the AirPower pad will work with the newest iPhones and some other devices. Reports say Apple is aiming to release it by September.
And I'm sure it'll be a bargain price, no doubt.
As usual.
As
and
Apple
come with
would.
all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Facebook.
We came here for the friends, and we got to know the friends of our friends. And we found others just like us. And just like that, we felt a little less alone. But then something happened. We had to deal with spam, fake news, and data misuse. That's going to change. From now on, Facebook will do more to keep you safe and protect your privacy. Because when this place does what it was built for, then we all get a little closer.
With tough food, your dentures may slip and fall. New Fixodent Ultra Max Hold gives you the strongest hold ever to lock your dentures. So now you can eat tough food without worry. Fixodent and forget it.
It's just a burst pipe. I can fix it.
No.
With Claim Rate Guard, your rates won't go up just because of a claim.
I totally could have.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
A suspect has now been charged in the shooting death of rapper XXXTentacion in Miami.
Even though the White House has softened their immigration issues, some local protesters still plan to hold a rally on the Suncoast.
And you'll never believe this one. Researchers have found a link between Alzheimer's and the herpes virus. Yes, that is true. We have those stories and your weekend forecast right now on Good Morning Suncoast. Good morning to you on this Friday morning. It is 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb.
Thank you, little Mary Sunshine.
You're welcome.
Great stories there. I'm Ray Collins. Let's get to the forecast now. Here's John Scalzi.
Well, the good news is that there won't be much rainfall for your morning commute. How about that? We're looking at pretty quiet conditions across the entire peninsula right now. A few scattered showers out in the Gulf waters. We'll have a westerly wind flow that'll again encourage the formation of morning showers along the coast, but they'll be kind of few and far between, I think. Some of those showers will become more frequent in number as you get into inland areas later in the afternoon. Then the showers all drift toward the other coast, leaving our coastline pretty quiet, actually, as it is right now. We're looking at a satellite view showing kind of a mix of sun and clouds. There are holes in the cloud banks, and so we'll see plenty of sunshine to boost our temperatures. It's already kind of warm out there. And once again, a reminder, red tide is still a problem on the Suncoast, especially from the areas around Siesta Key southward. These more southern beaches seem to have the higher levels of irritant in the atmosphere right now. The complete forecast for you coming up for the weekend, coming up in just a second.
All right, talk to you soon, John. 5:31 right now. Our live camera is out there at State Road 64 and 3rd Avenue West in Bradenton. We are told that the DOT will open that later on this afternoon. We'll check that throughout the morning. Let's go to the maps right now and find out that in Manatee County, the only buildup we see right now is on 14th Street West southbound as you travel through Bayshore Gardens back toward Whitfield and Talavast. Otherwise, pretty clear. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County, we do have an issue there at University and I-75. We'll click on that and find out that there is an accident there, right there at the diverging diamond. So we'll check on that as well. Also 41 southbound from Bay Vista as you head toward Weber and Siesta Drive. And then our final map to the south will show us, if you look at the top left corner of your screen, the only issue there is back up in Sarasota where you see Clark Road westbound as you go from the interstate toward Honore.
Well, many here on the Suncoast are looking to speak out against the families of illegal immigrants being separated at our borders. Now, even though the policy changed this week, a protest is still planned for later on tonight.
Our Marla Spence has a preview of that rally later on today. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Although that policy has changed, there has been several protests across the country this week in response to the immigration issue and families being separated who are seeking asylum at the border. Here's a look at rallies in several states that'll be similar to the one happening right here on the Suncoast. Answer Suncoast Coalition is the group responsible for organizing today's protests. One organizer tells us protesters plan to rally against what they say is a cruel attack on refugee families seeking asylum at the border. Although President Trump did sign an executive order to end families being separated, today's protesters are still demanding that children and families be welcomed compassionately and kept together as they apply for asylum. Those protesters will gather at the intersection of Cortez Road West and 14th Street West near Books-A-Million in Bradenton. Protesters plan to be out in numbers starting at 6:30 tonight, and that rally is expected to wrap up around 8. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Well, Time Magazine's latest cover shows a stark image of the Trump administration's separation of illegal immigrant families coming over the U.S.-Mexican border. Now, the cover shows President Trump towering over the now iconic image of a crying little girl that had been recently separated from her parents. It's causing lots of controversy out there. The illustration also includes 3 words, "Welcome to America."
Hawaii County officials now say lava has destroyed Nearly 600 homes. That number is still expected to grow. The fissures that are still creating tall fountains of lava is feeding a flow of lava heading toward the ocean at a rate of 20 miles an hour.
A suspect is charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of rapper XXXTentacion. Florida police have finally arrested 22-year-old Derek Williams on Wednesday night. Police say that the 20-year-old rapper was actually killed Monday night during an apparent robbery. According to police, he was coming out of a store when two men drove by in an SUV and shot him. Now, the judge in Thursday's hearing ordered that Williams, the first of those to be found, be held without bail. He was already on probation at the time of his arrest and is due back in court on Monday.
A conservative columnist has lost his battle with cancer. Charles Krauthammer's column ran in the Washington Post for more than 30 years, and he often appeared as a commentator on Fox News. The Pulitzer Prize-winning writer curtailed his work last summer for health reasons and announced earlier this month he had just weeks to live. Turns out he was right. Journalists across the spectrum shared condolences. He was 68 years old. Today is the second day of summer and a good time to remind you that heat exhaustion and heat stroke can be very dangerous. Doctors say if you're feeling lightheaded, nauseous, or have a headache, you could be experiencing signs of heat exhaustion. If you do start to feel this way, it's important to drink water and go into an air-conditioned room or at least the shade. Most at risk, the very old and the very young.
Anybody that's older or a young child, those people are definitely at higher risk for having complications from getting overheated. So it's really important to take extra precautions if you're going to enjoy a day outside.
She also says if you enjoy working out outside, it is best to do so in the early morning or later at night when temperatures aren't quite as high.
Well, here's the strangest health story you'll hear all week. Researchers may have found a link between Alzheimer's disease and the herpes virus. In fact, this latest study found evidence that two strains of herpes may contribute to getting Alzheimer's. So how did they find this bizarre link between these two things? Well, scientists compared the brains of people with Alzheimer's and ones without. And they found that the people that had Alzheimer's also had levels of the herpes virus that were almost twice as high as people who didn't have Alzheimer's. But researchers say don't be alarmed. The type of herpes virus they found is a very common one. And here's a not so fun fact. Did you know that almost 90% of adults have already been exposed to the herpes virus by the time that they're 30? Or excuse me, 50. That was a far less fun fact. Well, an update now for SunPass users this morning. According to the Florida Department of Transportation, users of the online SunPass system will not be charged late fees or any penalties for the state's error during their system update. Now, the billing delay currently happening will have no impact on the cost of tolls that you normally pay when you travel the system. SunPass customers will continue to be charged the tolls when you go through. However, and then once the system has been fully tested, a timeline will be announced for the resumption of fees for a past due account. So this all came to be after a couple weeks ago when they had shut the online pay system down. A lot of things got mixed up and there were some charges that were posted that were incorrect, but they are working to fix it and we'll have it fixed within the next week or two.
9 months after Hurricane Irma, a Sarasota sports bar has finally reopened. Irma ripped the roof off of Papa Joe's Sports Bar on Whitfield Avenue north of the airport. The exposed building had suffered 3 days of heavy rain. The owner says it took months to get insurance to approve their claim so they could finally begin rebuilding. There it is, though. Papa Joe himself says he appreciates the community support.
We've had a lot of customers support. Monday night was our first night. We were packed. We had over 100 people in here. And every night since then has been busy. Everybody's happy that we're back.
In a long time, they plan to have an official grand opening in the coming weeks.
Well, looking ahead, the Sarasota Police want to give you a heads up on the busy weekend ahead. The annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival starts tomorrow. That means more people, more cars, and more boats. Now, the event is going to run through the 4th of July, and there are going to be some road closures around the area to help accommodate all the crowds and extra traffic. You can find a list of all the road closures online at mysuncoast.com.
Some young local football players will learn skills today from one of the best in the league. Atlanta Falcons cornerback Brian Poole is back on the Suncoast for a few days. The 25-year-old graduated from Southeast High before playing for the University of Florida. He'll put on a one-day camp today for kids at the Police Athletic League on 13th Avenue East. The event runs from 5 to 8 p.m. We'll have a talk with Brian later today that you'll see on our noon broadcast.
All right, still to come. It has been weeks now since ABC canceled The Roseanne Show, but now it's official. A spin-off is in the works. We're going to tell you which cast members are already on board.
It is 5:39. Here's a live shot of the White House where the kitchen light is on, top right corner. Looking at that building, you wouldn't believe there's actually 6 floors.
No, you wouldn't believe. I would love to see what's underneath that building, the bunker.
A bunker, that's right. There's the D.C. I'm sure they'll have some hot conditions there today. Also hot here on the Suncoast, John.
Yeah, and kind of dry as well. We've had a few scattered showers around, but really not a lot. And the fire danger index continues to rise. Every day it seems like we add another county onto the increased fire danger risk. Moderate now in areas really from Manatee County all the way down to Lee. And that will probably increase again this afternoon. The pollen count remains in the low category. Grass is the major culprit, so that's good. It's at 0.6 right now, about as low as it gets. So we're glad to see that. Air quality index also a little bit better as of the last reading. Particulates still the big problem, but it's not a big problem really because it's all in the good to really good category in terms of air quality. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Very warm, muggy conditions outside, 83-degree air temperature with a dew point of 75, so it feels quite sticky. And in fact, if you factor in heat and humidity, we're talking about heat indexes that are coming in now at about 90, the feels like temperature. Of course, you don't have the beating sun, so it doesn't feel quite as bad as it could if the sun were out. 78 degrees, the air temperature probably by around 7 a.m. with only a slightest little chance of seeing a shower near the coast. But But as we move into the mid-morning and as we head into the noontime hour, we'll up that rain chance to about 30%. Isolated showers near the coast, kind of a very light rain is what you would expect to see. And then those rain chances increase as you move further inland by about 3 o'clock. Still the same rain chance, 30%. It's moving toward the inland areas. And in the inland areas, we certainly could see a few thunderstorms around later on this afternoon. All of that continues to drift toward the east, out of the viewing area toward the other coast as we head into the evening. Tide and radar pretty quiet right now, not a whole lot of activity. There are more rain showers up to the north. And again, I think today, the Big Bend region, the most likely location for seeing some of the stronger storms, just as they did yesterday. High pressure is located down to our south. That provides us with that westerly wind flow, which always encourages a few scattered showers along the coast in the morning, followed by inland showers later in the day. That's one of the sea breeze regimes we have. Again, from Siesta Key southward, especially Minnesota, Mote Marine spotters have indicated that the amount of irritant in the air due to red tide algae bloom is highest at Minnesota Beach right now, with it being reported as intense. Otherwise, from about Lido Key northward, they're not reporting much of a problem with any kind of irritants in the air. Of course, again, I let you know that these values that appear at specific beaches are very transient and they move with the flow of water and wind. And so if you find a problem at one beach, just move a mile or so up the road and you might not have that issue. We're looking at a satellite view that shows a mix of sun and clouds as we head into dawn this morning and into the morning hours. The amount of sunlight that we get will rapidly rise our temperature and help to build that sea breeze reinforced with that westerly wind. So the futurecast shows, by around noon, we'll start to see a few scattered showers near the coastline and then building showers in inland areas as we head into the evening. And I think the biggest storms over on the other coast during the evening hours. High pressure remains to our south. We get this westerly wind pushing the showers off toward the Atlantic, and that west wind will continue right straight through the weekend. So if you plan to do some outdoor recreating, maybe take the boat for a ride out on the waters during the afternoon, I think you'll probably be pretty much okay. Don't really see a big issue. Certainly the west wind will continue steadily throughout the afternoon into the evening at about 10 knots. And about the worst you're going to see is a light chop on your bay and inland waters with 2-foot sea. So it should be pretty nice. Maybe a morning shower or two, but everything kind of clears out by afternoon. 9:12, high tide this morning, low tide 4:50 this evening. And the 7-day forecast shows 90 for a daytime high today. Tomorrow, even Sunday, I think we'll lower the air temperature just a little bit because we're going to up the rain chance just a tad as the showers are going to be pushed closer to the coastline as opposed to being pushed further and further away from our coastline toward the Atlantic. That pattern of kind of a southeasterly wind flow pushing the showers closer to the coast will continue on next work week, as well as we'll carry on with that 40 or 50% chance of showers, which is about typical for this time of year. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside and check out your first alert traffic out there in Manatee County. The roads are running pretty decent. We do have some of our typical delays. This one on State Road 64 if you come across the bridge into Bradenton, as well as 41. A few delays there, and 301 as well. In Sarasota County, those roads aren't running too bad just yet either. Just a couple of those little hot spots on 301 that continues. We do have one thing to tell you about. There's still an accident they're reporting right there at University Parkway and 75, so that's one to look out for. That's always busy around this time of the morning. A little farther south in the area, both 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth this morning. So if you're headed to Punta Gorda or Port Charlotte or anywhere south, it won't be too bad for the next at least a half hour or so. It's 5:48. That's your first alert traffic.
Many Florida retailers say the recent hurricane preparedness sales tax holiday was a success. Stores are saying the week-long event was very good for business. The tax-free week earlier this month was part of a larger tax cut package lawmakers approved earlier this year. It's estimated consumers saved in Florida more than $7 million in state and local taxes over the week. The Florida Retail Federation hopes the popularity will entice lawmakers to extend the time for tax-free shopping next year.
It was a really good weekend, a really good week, 7 days was, it was great. People were, the stores were allowed to spread out their workforce. People were, able to take their time and figure out exactly what they wanted to get. And overall, I think it was successful and something we're going to push for again next year.
Another sales tax holiday on back-to-school supplies is scheduled for August.
Well, it is official. The recently canceled Roseanne show is getting a spinoff on ABC. Just a few weeks after canceling the show, ABC says it is keeping the show alive without Roseanne Barr. Now, the working title of the reboot is called The Connors. So far, John Goodman, Sarah Gilbert, and Laurie Metcalf have all been confirmed for the show's cast. Roseanne, of course, was canceled last month after Barr tweeted racist remarks to a former Obama administration employee.
A legendary Chevy SUV is making a comeback. A new Chevrolet Blazer was unveiled in Atlanta on Thursday. It'll hit the showrooms next year. General Motors is Chevy's parent company. They stopped making the Blazer back in 2005. But SUV sales have been going through the roof, so GM wants to offer those vehicles in a variety of sizes. The new Blazer will be bigger than the compact Chevy Equinox, but smaller than the crossover SUV Traverse. The choice of engines will include a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder.
Want to own a little piece of Walt Disney, the man? Well, now you can. At an auction next month, collectors will be able to bid on one of Walt Disney's business cars and stock certificates that all include his name and his signature. There's also going to be a plot map that he used to draw the boundaries when he was first creating Disneyland back in the day. Now, the starting bids will range from $50 all the way up to $100,000.
Here's your chance to buy an airplane that no longer flies. Yeah, one of Elvis Presley's private jets is up for auction again. The abandoned, rust-ridden aircraft has been sitting on a New Mexico runway for 36 years, and it needs a lot of work. For starters, it can't start.
What is it, like a giant paperweight?
Yeah, worse.
What? A rusty paperweight.
Paperweights have more charm.
Jeez.
The cockpit's a mess. The seats are velvet. They're worn out. It reached a price last year of $430,000 at auction, but the winning bidder said, you know what, there's too many repairs. I don't want it after all. I'm surprised he could do that.
Right.
Online auction site Iron Planet is now accepting bids until July 27th. 5:51 right now. Peek outside our windows shows a pretty beautiful morning starting out. High of 90 today. Our top 3 local headlines next.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Auburn Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit rtjgolf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
It's summer on the Suncoast, and you know what that means. It's Friday Fest season.
And you are invited. Join ABC7 for the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall's free outdoor summertime concert series.
Jam to dance music by Ja Movement on June 22nd. The Movement is sure to get you dancing.
With food trucks, beverage vendors, and more, it's the perfect spot to enjoy great music and a summer sunset over the bay.
For more information, go to this number or go to mysuncoast.com/FridayFest.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
It is 5:54. Here are some of the stories that we're following for you today.
Northport police want to charge a pilot for a Saudi royal family who allegedly ripped off a local resident. They say Marcin Urbanski accepted $9,000 to help a local resident become a pilot, but never provided the help.
Plus, if your SunPass account shows some errors or missed charges, do not worry. FDOT says they are working to get the system fixed, and you won't be getting any late charges in the meantime.
The NFL is planning to suspend the Buccaneers quarterback for the first 3 games of the season. Jameis Winston accused of groping an Uber driver in 2016.
And right now, one last look at the forecast. Maybe Saturday, your best shot for a good beach day, right, John Scalzi?
I'd go with that. Yeah, I think so. There's a good chance that we'll see a wind reversal that could send more showers closer to the coast on Sunday. So hot and humid today, that's for certain. No questions about that, with some morning showers near the coast and then afternoon showers inland. Those east movers will be with us today and tomorrow, certainly. Probably most of Sunday as well. But it's possible that we could have better rain chances starting Sunday. If we get that wind shift back to the east, the showers that build inland will move back toward the coast.
Thank you, John. Real quick, nice event tonight. If you've got time, come by the Van Waysville. It's the first Friday Fest of the season, and we'll be there as
We're
hosts.
hosting, and check out Jaw Movement, one of my favorite local bands.
Oh, they're good.
Fantastic, very good. So hope to see you tonight.
5 to 8 p.m. on Sarasota's Bayfront. Another hour of Good Morning Suncoast straight ahead right here on ABC 7.